Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. So today we are doing our February TBR, and this month I've decided to pick off 4 books from my physical TBR and then 2 new releases that I haven't currently purchased but I am planning on picking up in February when they release. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's just get straight into the 6 books I'm going to try and read in February. Now this is a little ambitious because my January TBR has been incredibly unsuccessful. It's like the least successful I've been in reading a TBR in, I'm gonna say, years. I'll explain more when I do my January reading wrap up, but it was a pretty poor effort in January by me. You would think that that would mean that I would pick maybe less books to put onto my TBR for February, but that's not the case. I've decided to go full ball steam ahead with 6 books once again because that's just who I am. But they are going to be 5 contemporaries and then 1 cozy fantasy book, and let's hope that we come out of a little bit of the reading slump that I'm kind of in. So the first book that I have decided to pick up in the month of February is Collide by Bal Cabra. I'm gonna be honest, this is was a cover buy for me last year, and it just looks like a college romance, which is what I'm hoping for. It looks like it's got something to do with hockey, and I'm gonna take it she's somewhat of a little bit of a nerd and she maybe has to help him study, and they have a little blossoming romance. I'm just hoping for a cute, fun, light-hearted romance novel. So we have our main character Summer. She hates everything about hockey and actually wants to become a sports psychologist. Little nerd. And then we have Aiden, who is our hockey captain, and he absolutely loves hockey except when his team's reckless mistakes risk jeopardizing their entire season, and looks like that their whole team gets put forward for a research paper. Oh no, not the whole team. Aiden ends up getting put forward as a punishment to be part of a research paper. I'm going to presume it is Summer's research paper. He has no choice but to accept. Basically, we've got Summer, who is quite uptight, lives her life by a schedule, and then Aiden, on the other hand, is really quite blasé, chill, goes with the flow kind of person, and they kind of, I guess, clash a little bit. They do have to work together. Look, like I said, I'm just hoping for a cute little college romance. That's all I'm in the mood for. So I know that the sequel Spiral, I think, has come out in January. I haven't yet found the book in store, but I was wanting to read this one, and then if I enjoy it, I would look to pick up the sequel Spiral as well. But I'm keen to give this one a go and just see what I think of it. And then the second book that I have decided to pick up is Flawless by Elsie Silver. This will be my first Elsie Silver novel. I've never picked up one of hers before, and I've just randomly decided to pick up this book because I think it's her first series. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like when I was looking into her, this was the first series that she came out with. Is this the Chestnut Springs series? This book is not actually telling me. Yes, it is. This is the Chestnut Springs series. Sorry, it is the first book. I believe that this was her first series, and then she's done other series, so I thought I would be best to start with this one. I was smart and I only picked up the first book. There's like 5 books in this series, but I've only picked up the first one, and I just want to give it a go and give it a read because I know that everyone really enjoys her books. I think it's also very similar to like the Done and Dusted, Swift and Saddled, Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. So I want to give it a go and just see what I think of it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually remember what it's about because I purchased it last year. I love how this blurb doesn't even tell you the main character's names. This is awkward, but that's fine. So we focus on our male main character, who was the golden boy of professional bull riding until everything went wrong, and then it's kind of blown up in his face. His agent has told him that he needs to clean up his image, so he's stuck with his agent's ball-busting daughter for the rest of the season as his full-time supervision. Let me guess, they dislike each other and then they fall for each other. It's going to be the same as Collide, I can see it, but just like in a different setting, where it's going to be like he's probably chill and blasé and she's a little bit more like rigid and uptight. That's cool. He's annoyed because he doesn't need a babysitter, one that he's got a sexy smirk and a mouth she can't stop running and he can't stop thinking about. So she says that there's boundaries we shouldn't cross, that my reputation can't take any more nor hits, and neither can her damaged heart. He says he's going to steal it anyway. I feel like these are cowboy stories, so I feel like these are the books that were maybe the cowboy stories that everyone was getting into. It sounds like I've got like a little bit of a similar theme with my romance first two books, but that's fine. I'm just hoping to see what all of the fuss is about with Elsie Silver and her writing and her stories, and if I enjoy it, then yeah, I'm gonna pick up the rest of the series. And I've only ever heard like good things about her, but yeah, for the most part, I haven't heard anything negative, so I'm excited to pick it up and give it a go. And then the third book that I have picked up is Not in My Book by Katie Holt. This is one that I have picked up this year, but I had one book left over in the 36 books that I was allowed to buy in 2024, so I've sneakily purchased this one this year, and I'm claiming that it's the last book that I purchased in 2024, so just let me have it, please. And I literally bought it like 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember the blurb, but we do focus on our main character, Rosie and Aiden. So Rosie has this massive dream of being a romance writer. That is her goal in life. However, her plan is like to become a romance author is kind of derailed a little bit when she goes into a writing workshop, and in there is her arch nemesis Aiden, and he is an obnoxious, unreasonably gorgeous literary fiction writer who has no patience for romance or Rosie. And basically their professor is just so over their constant verbal battles in this writing workshop that they are given a ultimatum: either leave her class or co-write a novel that blends their respective genres. So Rosie and Aiden end up collaborating on their accidentally steamy book, and they have to try and put their differences aside to write it. And I guess in the process of them writing this novel, they're going to, I guess, hash out the reason why they're arch enemies, because like what's happened prior to them rocking up here, like they clearly know each other prior to this, so I want to know what happened, and they're probably going to fall in love. But I, for the most part, really enjoy novels that are set in like the publishing industry. So whether that's like, you know, someone who's the publisher, someone who's the author, marketing, anything like that, I really enjoy books that have that sort of premise in some aspect. So that was the main driving force as to why I picked up this book. I actually don't know if this is this author's debut novel. Yeah, this is her first novel, so we'll see what I think. I haven't heard anything about it because like I said, it's pretty new, but hopefully I enjoy it. But we've got a lot of like the somewhat like enemies to lovers trope going on. And then the next book I'm actually going to talk about is the fourth final book from my physical TBR, and the only cozy fantasy novel that I have put on this list, and that is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. This is the third book in the Emily Wilde's series. I'm saying series because I don't know if it's like a trilogy or if there's meant to be more stories. I have no idea how many books are actually meant to be in this series. This one has literally been released in January as well. I was very on the fence with the first book, which was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Didn't enjoy it very much. And then I really just delayed picking up Emily Wilde's, what was it? Map of the Other Lands was the sequel, and I really quite enjoyed that one last year. So when I saw this one at the bookstore, I just had to pick it up. The covers are stunning, and I'm really excited to just see what happens next with Emily and Wendell. And I actually just don't even know what this one's about. Okay, so Emily's about to embark on her most dangerous academic project yet. For anyone who doesn't know, these books focus on fairies, and they're set in like the 1900s, and our main character Emily is a professor who studies fairies, fairy realms and laws, and she's gone around and she's made an encyclopedia of fairies. She's then also made like a map of the fairyland, and her partner is Wendell. I don't want to like say any spoilers for him that might be interested in picking up the series, but he's not entirely human, and she's trying to help him get back into his realm. And her new academic project is studying the inner workings of a fairy realm as its queen. And I must say that the parts of this book like series that I've enjoyed the most is when we're in fairy and we're learning about the fairies. I love stories with fairies. I've always been obsessed with like fairy tales and stuff as a kid. I love like fairies, but yeah, I'm really excited just to give this one a read and just see what's going on, because we're going to, I can't say whose, but we're going to a kingdom and we're going to learn more about the fairies. And I'm so excited because it looks like somebody's murderous stepmother has placed a deadly curse upon the land where they're going to live, and she's vanished without a trace, and it will take all of this person's magic and Emily's knowledge of stories to unravel the mystery before they lose everything they hold dear. So I'm just excited to see like where this takes us. These novels are like 350 odd pages. They're cozy low stake fantasy novels. They're just cool, chill, a good time. They're kind of cute. It just takes me a little while to read them just because it is very much written from Emily's like journal. They're like more journal entries. That's how it's written. And because it's written in the 1900s, obviously the way that they speak and write is different to how we speak and write now in this century. So sometimes it just takes me a little while to get just adjust and get used to that kind of like writing style. For the most part, I do think the series is getting better. I do like that the kind of like plot line that slowly developed in the first book and that was very much revealed in the second book is coming to a head here in this third book. So I'm excited to see what happens next for Emily and Wendell. But that is the fourth book that I wanted to read. And then the fifth book that I want to pick up is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. It is the brand new Ali Hazelwood book that is coming out February sometime. I actually don't know when. Let me Google. Oh, it's meant to come out the 5th of February. That's exciting. I don't actually know what this book's about, to be honest. I feel like I would have read the blurb back when she first announced it, but I haven't actually looked into what it's about, other than what you can obviously see on the cover is that it's going to be a book focusing on people that are, I don't want to label them as swimmers because I don't actually know, that they could be like, I guess, divers, swimmers. Maybe I'll read the blurb. No, it's a competitive diver and an ace swimmer, and it's a steamy college romance. I feel like people have said that this is her most, like this is her spiciest book yet, which is saying something because all of her books are quite spicy. All I really know about it is that obviously it's set in like a pool setting, it's in college, it's spicy. But yeah, I'm excited to pick it up. I love all of Ali Hazelwood's novels, so I'm excited to see what happens. And I just don't think that I'm going to say what it's about or read the blurb. I've sort of started reading and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to see what Scarlett and Lucas's story is when I read it, but I'm really excited to pick it up and I'm hoping that it can take me out of my reading slump that I'm in because if Ali Hazelwood can't do it, nobody can. And then the sixth and final book that I do want to pick up is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This one is also being released in February. I have a funny feeling it's around the same date. No, it is the 12th of February that this one comes out. It is her first novel in a new series called Heartstrings, and I do believe that it's inspired by Sleepless in Seattle. I say that a little confusingly because I have never seen that movie, so I don't know if I've said the title correctly. And it's basically like inspired by this story, and we look at Aiden and also Lucy. And Aiden is the host of Baltimore's Romance Hotline, where basically young girls and I guess guys call into the station asking for dating advice. And basically a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mum. The interview goes viral, thrusting Aiden and Heartstrings into the limelight. So I guess Heartstrings must be the name of his segment. And then Lucy must be this young girl's mother. And she thought she was going fine, but then all of Baltimore is suddenly scrutinizing her love life or lack thereof. She begins to question if she's as happy as she thought, and everyone wants her to find her happy ending. Even the handsome temperamental man calling the shots. It was like the sparks must fly between Lucy and Aiden when he's trying to help her with some romance. I'm excited to see what this turns out to be and give it a read. I've seen people reading it online and getting ARC copies and have had really, really positive things to say. So I'm quite excited to pick it up, give it a read, because I need another B.K. Borison book in my life. But basically, guys, they are the 6 books that I am hoping to read in February. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have read any of the books that I have mentioned, please let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on them. And I will see you guys next week for the January reading wrap up. Bye, guys.